Hello, everyone. My name is Christine Arnold. I'm Mike and Marilyn's oldest and only daughter, and I'm going to be sharing some of the beginnings of the ministry from my perspective as a 12-year-old, and then the years moving forward. But I wanted to first just say to all of you that I'm excited about this next chapter of the ministry. I was thinking back to the last decade or so when my parents would get together with Gustavo and Rosemary every year. And they would dream and plan and download, and they were preparing to take the ministry over someday. And little did we know that my mom would leave when she did, but they were ready and equipped and prepared. And I just wanted to say to all of you that are involved in the ministry, you have that anointing, you have that calling. God is going to do great things through you for your communities, for the marriages and the families in your areas, and that the original vision of the ministry to be a lighthouse, to have these lighthouse homes that would just radiate to their neighbors and their communities. That's you. And there's never been a more important time for that than now, at least in the time that I've been alive. Things have really changed the last couple of years, and gosh, people need the things that you have to offer, these tools and these scriptural truths. So I'm excited for everyone involved in the ministry. I'm excited for this next chapter. And then lastly, before I go into some of my memories, I wanted to speak to my dad. Dad, I love you so much. I'm so grateful to live close to you. I've been so proud to watch you navigate through these last couple of years without mom, and pass the baton and just help others dream and giving strength. And I just appreciate that so much. I was thinking of a couple things from my past that stuck out to me. Several years ago, maybe a decade ago, you went through a challenging time with an extended family member. And I remember watching you navigate through that situation with such grace, and just trusting the Lord that He would restore the things that were taken. And I just appreciated that so much. And then second thing that goes right along with that is you always tell us to keep our hearts right. And that's been such a good lesson for me. No matter the circumstances, no matter what you're going through, if you can keep your heart right and aligned with the Lord, you don't have to struggle with feelings of insecurity or being down, or you are someone who does not let circumstances affect your joy and who you are and your energy level. And I appreciate that so much. I love you. I know you could speak for Mike and Jason too. We love you so much. We're so grateful to have you in our lives. Early days of ministry for us were really sweet, really simple. We lived in a home that was pretty small, pretty basic. I remember the office getting more and more cluttered, more and more busy. I think as mom and dad were growing and the ministry started taking off. My next memories would have been Born Again Marriages conferences. Another memory would be traveling for several weeks in the summers, hitting the road with our van that we had. We would get in the van and we would go all over. I remember in the summers we would go up to Whidbey Island to a family camp that was just fantastic. We had such an exceptional childhood in some ways. From my perspective, I think that my parents had a high calling. As a family, we were in ministry, because I wouldn't say that my parents put us first and then ministry, but I would say that from my perspective, from my vantage point, I was on board with their ministry, with them really finding hurting couples almost in a way of, that there's a urgency about this, that they felt like God had called them to this, and they needed to get out there. They needed to do this. They needed to find these people. And I think that for me, I enjoyed that. I didn't mind not always being first. I understood that we were on this earth to find our calling and go after it. And my parents did that. They were amazing at that. And I saw so many marriages transform over the years. I saw lives changed. I saw families redeemed. I saw husbands and wives unify and raise incredible kids. My parents gave us opportunities when we were on the road. We would go to Christ for the Nations every summer too for their ministry week there, which was one of my other highlights. And as we would visit different churches, my parents would speak in churches, they would give us opportunities to minister too. They would let us come and pray for young people. I remember getting prayed over at Christ for the Nations, and then being able to kind of take that example and pray over others, and maybe not always feeling like I was ready or equipped, but mom and dad just saying, yes, you can do this. This is part of our family. This is what we do. It was just a really, really sweet childhood. I didn't realize at the time how different it was from other families, how interesting it was, how rare it was, how special it was. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that I got to grow up in this beautiful home with mom and dad and really see God use them in a very powerful way. And now that mantle then is passed along, and all of you watching this are part of this vision and this ministry, and now you get to take this into your world. God is so faithful. God is so good. He maps our lives and gives us these opportunities to be a part of other people's lives.
Marilyn and I had a table right here, and we could look out there, and we actually did a lot of the work when in developing week by week the course. So we did it here in this place. We had some kind of weird machine that typed, and we typed our first manuals off of it.
All of the separate portions of the manual that I would have to crunch, put together, bind, and then I would get 25 cents.
Per manual?
Per manual.
That's pretty good. You were getting rich.
But start to finish, we had to go through and had that machine that you put every single page in it, and then it kicked out 12 pages. Okay, you had to stack it and kicked out 12 pages again. Yeah, it was about 15 to 20 minutes worth of work for 25 cents.